Hello there, and welcome to the Wandering Wolf YouTube channel. I'm your host, Mark Rhodes, and with me, as always, is my friend and fellow Wolves lifer, Mr. Craig Fullwood. I just saw you just take a sip of your beer, and yeah, we're doing this straight after the actual. Well, I don't know what to call that performance, to be honest, but yeah, let's have your thoughts on that 4-0 defeat at home to Burnley.
Okay. Well, yeah, how you doing, mate? Good to see you.
Good to see you, mate.
As always. Now let's just be mindful that the sun is shining outside.
Yes.
It's lovely.
Yes.
There's beer's flowing, so I don't...
That's a spirit. That's what we want.
I just said to you, if they can't be bothered, then why should we? But, where do you start with that? I mean, no passion, no desire, no fight, nobody cares. Typically, our first half performances are shocking. That they have been on too many occasions this season, but today was probably the worst one out of the bunch.
Yeah, I'd say so.
The most concerning thing for me is that I don't mind us performing poorly in the first half and whatever, if it's then put right the next week, or even if we try something and it doesn't work, at least we try. But it's almost like everybody, Nuno included, have just gone, forget it.
They've just put down tools. They've put down tools and they've gone on holidays, haven't they?
No disrespect to Burnley. We spoke about it on the preview show. They have got a result like that in them, but we should be. We're a better team than Burnley.
Well, I don't know, mate.
But they, all credit to them. They came and did the job.
They were great.
Fantastic. But we made it far too easy for them. It was shocking. I can't single out one player that I thought played well. I don't know what's happened or why it is, but it literally just feels like everybody's on holiday already and gone, do you know what? There was nothing today that I can even cling on to. Really.
I'd like to get Nuno's thoughts on what he thought that performance lacked. Or for me, mate, it's like I started watching it, and after 10 minutes, I thought Burnley are going to absolutely spank us here. We're second to the ball every single time, and there is no speed. Take Traore out the equation because he's obviously quick, but you've got Cody in there who he couldn't turn. Every single ball that came into the box, he lost his man. Bolly. What was Bolly doing? It's like one of the worst games I've seen Bolly play.
Okay, he had a shocker. So do you just put it down to that, or what? But
no, it's been coming, mate. It's been coming with Bolly. It's been coming.
Yeah, it's not just one or two. It's all of them. So that makes me. It makes me worry. What is going on. I know I am getting increasingly concerned, mate, about the summer and what's Nuno going to do, because has he lost it?
Has he lost the dressing room? Has he lost? Do you know what I mean? It looked as though all the they just didn't try. They didn't try. He didn't make any changes.
Coming up.
No, he ain't.
And why is he playing like that? No, I know.
No, he ain't. He can. He ain't going anywhere. He ain't going anywhere.
But you'd think, we should be having a strong end to the season. We got safety all but secured. We should be playing better than that at home against Burnley today.
You know what, mate?
An uphill battle.
What you know the issue that I've got is the FA Cup nonsense because we want to get higher up in the league, and now we're safe. We come out with that performance. There is no one on that field that comes away with any positivity except for Aït-Nouri
in a Wolves shirt. Yeah.
In a Wolves shirt, I thought we made them look like I don't know, like Barcelona, and they know how to play against us. Sean Dyche has got Nuno's number. All you do with us is get balls into the box because we cannot defend. It's cross, score, repeat, cross, score, repeat, and that's all they were doing because we could not defend it.
And with somebody like Wood up there, he's going to find the net.
Yeah.
He's a proper goal scorer, He is. Give him a sniff, he's going to bang it in the net.
Well, I would rather have Chris Wood in my team than William Jose. That's for certain.
Absolutely. 100%. But again, you know, he doesn't score for fun like that every week. We got it all wrong. What and why? You expect a tough game against Burnley. We said it on the preview. You know, it's going to be a tough game. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Everybody, it seems, apart from anybody who's playing for us or the manager today. And it's just so frustrating, mate. You know, to get turned over 4-0 at home
against Burnley. Come on, you know, I've got a lot of love for you know, a lot of mates who are Burnley fans, but come on, man.
Yeah.
Do you really believe in like any universe that Burnley would have said they would have come over? And let's be honest, it probably should have been 5 or 6. Like, that doesn't flatter Burnley, that scoreline. It's like, that's exactly how much better they were than us. We were abysmal. Like, there was no fight, there was no passion. Like, some of the passing.
It's like when you lose the ball, you know, you should be like sprinting your nuts off to get the ball back and care, you know.
Mate, have you seen the stat? Have you seen the stat? They ran 6 kilometres more than us. How the hell does that happen?
Why are we so lacklustre and lazy? And why is there no fight and desire? But that's the question for me. And the frightening thing is the next game is Albion, yeah?
Yeah.
So
next game is Albion.
Well,
well, they're down. We've basically that result has all but put Albion down. So this is like
silver lining.
Well, I'm clutching
maybe
here, mate. But
maybe that was the plan. No,
yeah.
They're gonna try and give us a right good thumping.
On that performance, they will.
And even if we are safe or whatever, it's about pride at the end of the day. Personal pride to put the shirt on and care and actually give a toss.
Yeah. Do you think that performance would have been accepted with the fans in? Like, they would have took Bolly off.
I haven't had
half time
a good look what's been said, but the couple of things that I did see, you know, it was like season ticket would be on the pitch, booed off. You know, I genuinely think there'd be protests outside, you know, calling for Nuno, because we've seen it. We've seen it earlier in the season. People are fed up, mate, and we're on here defending him a lot, which I know we are, and correct. But then that goes and happens, and you're like, you can't
defend that. Mate, you can't defend that performance. Like, and as you know, on this channel, we try so hard to be positive and take the positives out of a performance. There is nothing in that performance that you can actually look at and go, yeah, I understand. Like, and don't give me this injury nonsense either.
No,
nothing to do with injuries. It's about pride and passion and wanting to win the ball.
Desire. Yeah.
Everything that Burnley had over the 90 minutes, they were running and just like getting in our faces, and we didn't.
It was like our starting 11 had never met before. That's the best way I can say it.
Yeah, I agree with that, actually. Yeah.
It was like they were passing balls and it was going nowhere near where the run was being made.
Yeah.
It was nervous. It was nothing. I'm just lost for words, mate.
The problem that I've got with it is that these 2 wins over Fulham and Sheffield United, as much as we were going, we haven't conceded. Like, that just shows you the standard of those teams. Like, and Burnley come to our place and just turn us over. Fulham are a horrible side. Sheffield United were on their knees and could have picked up a point. We're papering over cracks here. Like, and seriously, that back 3 has got to be disbanded in the summer. I don't know what's going to happen, but if you're thinking of putting Bolly and Cody in a back 4, we'll be relegated by February.
Yeah, they're not good. It's not good enough, mate. But
it isn't.
Look at where I know we've said it before. We've been overachieving and we've had a bit of luck, and we seem to play with, we'd knock it around with confidence and a bit of flair, and we'd be scoring goals, and Nevers would be popping up with 1 or 2, and there'd be shots, and it'd be exciting. How have we got to this stage where that performance today is nowhere?
Well, Neves,
we're a different world away from
some of the passes from Neves. Like, so
I don't know what's happened to
uncharacteristic.
Neves in the last couple of weeks, but he's completely dropped off a cliff for me.
He's a shadow, isn't he? He's a shadow of the player that he was. Like,
Yeah,
but that you could say that about 9 out of possibly the 11 players that were on that pitch. Like,
well, look at Potence. I know he's had his injury troubles, but he just
I love Potence. He was awful. He was absolutely
terrible.
Horrible. It was the worst, by far, the worst game that he's played for Wolves. Like, whenever he got the ball, he just lost it straight away. And then when I thought, actually, when Traore probably should have got sent off, really. Let's be honest. Like if you push somebody in the face, I'm glad he didn't. And it is the right call in like the common sense.
It could have gone the other way.
Yeah, and it would have been 6 or 7 because they would have had an extra man, and they were already overrunning us. So I really don't know what else to say. Like, how do we address this? Like, because we have got some really, really tough games coming up. I can't see us winning any more of them if we play like that.
Well, if you play like that, you can forget it. But what gets me on a performance like that today is what have we done this week?
Oh yeah, it's like they haven't been in training.
What was the plan? What did we think was going to happen? What did we think was going to come at us? What did we set up for? Or is he just tinkering right now because he knows?
With what though? He made no changes. Like we're 3-0 down, and he didn't make any changes. I was like, what the hell are you doing?
I couldn't believe it at half time when they came out and he'd made no. I mean,
well, you take Bolly and Cody off for me straight away and get Kilman on, get Dendonka in the middle with Kilman and play Saiss in midfield. Like, do something a bit different. Do something that's...
Why won't he play Kilman?
Well, I don't know. He's stolen from him or something. I don't know. He's like...
It's so strange, isn't it, that one?
I really don't know.
He's performed well whenever he's played.
He can't... he can't do any worse than what we saw today.
No.
Cody has played himself.
Down, what have you got to lose?
He's played himself at the Euros, though, isn't he? He has played himself at the Euros. If Gareth Southgate watches that game, he's like, nah, I'd take Ben Mee instead of Cody. 100%.
Yeah, I mean, it's only so far you can go on this. Oh, what a great player to have in the dressing room, and he's a great player to have around the place.
He ain't a great player on the pitch.
A big tournament like that, mate. Are you good enough?
He isn't good enough. He isn't good enough. He's not good enough. He really isn't.
Well, I think a huge overhaul in the summer, mate, is the only way to save this, and we can just chalk it down to,
mate, I don't think there will
COVID,
be
injuries, no fans, this, that, that, and just it needs a refresh, man.
Maybe it does need a refresh, and like obviously, we both have been Nuno in constantly all season, even with all the trials and tribulations of losing players to injury, our form being like up and down to say the least. And I don't want to get. I don't want to get picky because, you know, the grass isn't always greener and stuff. But there is a real sense to me that fans are beginning to have enough, and the tide is beginning to turn. And I really believe if we don't beat Albion or get a result against Albion, it'll just get worse and worse and worse. It really will.
The Albion now. It's always a huge game, regardless of where you are in the league. But I think
this is massive.
Now
it's massive. For Nuno, staying at the club.
But I'm still Nuno in. But what I'm conscious of is,
I am.
If he gets the backing in the summer, I know we've got to sell to buy. I understand all that, but do it then. Sell Neves if we've got to. Traore.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I do get what you're saying, but I don't necessarily agree with. Look who he's bought in. He's bought William Jose.
Did he that? Has he got that say on that now? I don't know.
Do you not think? Well, if he hasn't got the say, what's the point of him being there? Do you know what I mean? But, you know, like, what's the point?
Is he sort of told? You know, we've got. Jose,
you might as well have.
January. He's going to be your player.
But you might as well have Joe Bloggs. Joe Bloggs in charge if he's not going to make the decisions on who's coming in transfer-wise. He should be over this. He should be He should be in charge. Well, if that's the case, then not only an overhaul of the manager and the personnel needs to happen, then we need a change to, Fosun being in charge then. As stupid as that seems, and I don't agree with it at all. What I'm trying to say is that Fosun shouldn't have that, that say on transfers. Like, give him some money.
What's happened?
I know. Yeah,
that's what it kind of is. Did Mendes say, "You've got this player. It's a good deal. You're having him. Get on with." Is it 100% Nuno saying? What I'm trying to say is, I'd rather have a shake-up of the squad rather than the management. To be honest,
I know what you're saying, and I agree.
If we've got the same problems come Christmas, then maybe I could be turned to sort of say, hang on,
he's got half a season. Yeah, I agree. He's got half a season. I really do think he has.
I'd rather back him to start with and overhaul the players, because the players aren't performing on the pitch.
No, they're not.
Why?
Because we're safe. We're a mid-table side, and they're not bothered about going for 10th place. But
if we don't sort it out, like you just said, there's no way we can perform like that from the off next season.
No, we will be relegated.
We'll be the next Sheffield United.
But that's it. Like that. Nuno will go. Nuno will either be booted out or he'll just leave. If he doesn't have the funds in the summer, he'll go. This is not a good enough squad for me to take it to the next level, so I'm gone.
He's not going to keep putting himself at the front of things.
No.
If he's not getting the backing behind him, because he's be between a rock and a hard place, isn't he?
Yeah.
No backing, but he's expected to go and get 7th again or better. It's not going to happen.
But I like on Twitter, I put it out on Twitter. Who realistically would come in and do a better job than what Nuno's done? And I think it was Aidan who came on the show a couple of months ago, and he said Andres Villas-Boas, AVB, like Marseille manager. Like, how realistic is that? Like, for me, that feels. What I'm saying is, I don't actually agree. But I'm thinking, actually, when I think about all the managers that people bring, like, what is it? Who's the guy? He's a nutter, beard, Gattuso. Yeah, we're talking about Gattuso. Like, no, absolutely not. It's like having Kevin Muscat in charge. Like, but when you say AVB, I'm like, my ears prick up, and I go, actually, really? is that realistic? And he's Portuguese. I know, mate. I am not there yet. I'm not there yet. But what I'm trying to say is that, are these things in the works? Because is it not just like Twitter banter and stuff? But is it happening? Like,
it's the squad. It's the squad that we haven't got good enough players to compete. Every year, the Premier League gets better and better, and the standards raise. You've got to keep your levels up. You can't keep having Cody and Bolly. Yes, they've and Neves maybe even in there. They've done a job, fantastic so far.
Neves, really? You put Neves in those?
Well, probably not.
Well,
probably
at the moment, but I don't think Neves needs to play.
But
Neves needs to play.
He's got to get back to where we know he can be.
Yeah.
Because at the moment he's coasting.
Well, he shouldn't be taking the free kicks, that's for certain.
It's not good enough, Okay. Scored. I don't know. He's got to raise his game, mate. It's I know he's been away.
Well, he's been in self-isolation, hasn't he?
So, you could sort of hold that in your thought process, but it's got to be better. It's too inconsistent. And if we want to
really
compete,
bad.
And we want to do what we set out to do when Fosun came in, you've got to keep raising the bar, and you can't. You've got to be
stagnate. Are we going to be like a Crystal Palace type team where like 13th, 12th is going to be? We are at the moment. Like, or do we want to go to the next level?
That's why we've been saying this for weeks. This summer is huge.
It is huge
because if we don't do something about it, you've hit the nail on the head. We're the next Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
We are not going anywhere. You've got
floating.
to keep changing person. You've got to keep mixing it up and raising the bar for yourself.
Is that a managerial thing as well though now? I'm just putting it out there, mate. I'm just like, because like I'm
not for me yet. Not for me yet, but it's
if we get spanked by Albion, is that could be the catalyst.
Going to erupt.
Well, it could be the catalyst. Well, now it's the media blackout, isn't it? Next week, so.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Well, if we don't win a game, let's say this season, but we manage,
could happen.
We stay up. Does that mean? Do you think he'll just walk then? Because
I don't think he'll need to walk. I think he'll be sacked.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I do. Because so? Yeah, I do, mate. Yeah, because I think Fosun.
I don't know if they'd sack him this season.
I think if we don't win another game this season, and we end up on 41 points or 42 points or like, and like I know that injuries have played a part, but
say we finish fourth from bottom. Do you think he'd be sacked?
Oh yeah, he'd be sacked. Yeah, I do. Yeah, yeah. If we finish fourth from bottom, he definitely will be sacked. He'll get the sack. Really? You can't go from 2 7th places to 17th and blame like injuries. I know we've had shocking injuries, but if we are fourth from bottom of the Premier League, he's gotta go.
See, okay, that's an interesting. Maybe we should put a poll out on that, because I wouldn't necessarily say that's a sacking.
17th.
Yeah. Because
that's mate? Okay, you've contradicted yourself there. Because if you think that is okay, and you want us to go to the next level, then that makes no sense. What you've just said, like you've got to get Nuno out. Like it's 17th, and that's acceptable.
Because what I'm saying is, it's the players that are not good enough. We need to. That's why I'm saying the squad investment this summer. If we came fourth from bottom, for me, I don't think he should lose his job. I think he should be given the right tools to put it right, because of what he's done already and what he's done for the club since he's been there. I
know. He does. He deserves half a season.
Because like if I was in charge, I'd be thinking, hopefully now, and this is looking on the bright side. I'd be thinking, right, he obviously knows where. Let's give the guy some credit. He knows where the shortfalls are. He knows where the issues are, and he's got to put it right. He wants to change the style of play. It's gone completely wrong this season. If we finish fourth from bottom, I'd hope that those would be calling him and saying, well, there's nothing to say. We obviously all understand that's not good enough. That is appalling. What do you need to put it right? And if that means...
He needs a blank checkbook, mate.
Showing Code at the door, showing Ball at the door, a list of others, Traore, let's freshen it up. And if he can give him the tools to take us on again.
But I'm sorry, mate. I'm
sorry. That's what I'm saying. If he fails, then if like we're still playing like this, and there's no creativity, and it's still the way it is by sort of November, December, then obviously Nuno's
mate.
Lost his head.
What I'm trying to get at is you can't say it's about giving him the funds to get these players in. We've spent nearly £80 million. Like Burnley have spent £2 million.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you can't. Yeah. It's not just about transfers and giving him the money to do it. We have given him the money to do it. He's just bought the wrong players. They're not good enough. Vitinha's not good enough. Jose, my God, he's lazy. He just stands in one spot, and his hold-up play was terrible today, and that was the only redeeming feature from him.
But I think he knows he's going back, doesn't he? Do you know what I mean? He's not exactly playing for a contract, is he?
Well, definitely not. But there's too many.
So should he even be anywhere near the starting lineup? I don't want him to start against Albion if he's going to perform like that.
Nope.
And there's a lot of players that you could say that about today, obviously. But give Silva a chance.
Yeah,
that's what he's there for. What are you going to lose now?
Well, the thing is, we literally only have Fabio Silva. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's not as if we're giving him a chance. We're like, that's it. That's all we got. But that's new. That's on Nuno, though. He wants a small squad. It's his decision to have a small
I get that. I get
squad.
that.
So when you speak about overhaul and stuff,
so you're turning slightly then.
I am, mate. Yeah, I am. Yeah, and it's taken a while. I'm not like fully Nuno out because that's ridiculous. Like, but you can only go on past glories so much. Like, and as you said, you got to keep it fresh. You got to keep it going forward. And I know we've had horrendous injuries, but that performance today was nothing. It was not about injuries. It was about passion. It was about heart. It was about a desire to wear the shirt. And whenever I watch Wolves play, that's all I want. That's all I want. Like, it's not necessarily about skill. It's about getting in there and giving 100% for your team. And that's exactly what Burnley did. It's exactly what Burnley did. They won every single second ball. Every single one.
When you're struggling and things aren't going right, that's above all else. You just want desire, don't you? Yeah. You want fight and a bit of, even if you do go and get turned over 4-0, that's not really the issue. If everybody out there was, absolutely on their knees at the end and they really put everything into it, you can sort of say, well,
Yeah.
But when you get turned over like that and nobody really gives two
they just didn't. They didn't want to be there. Like, it looked like Nuno didn't want to be there. Do you see Bully in the crowd? Oh, he's head in his hands. Like, I think he spoke for absolutely everybody there from a Wolves perspective. Like, it was diabolical. It was even worse than the West Ham game that we played against.
It was the worst one. Like,
it was. Yeah, it was. I agree. The 3 seasons we've been in the Premier League, that's the worst performance for me. And the reason being, it wasn't because we weren't good enough. It's because there was no fight.
So what would you change for next week?
For next week, I'd play a 4 at the back. Mm-hmm. I'd bring Kilman in. I'd get rid of Cody and Bolly. I'd play Kilman and Sais centre-backs. I'd play Semedo and Aït-Nouri. That's your 4. I would make a real statement.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
I'd get rid of Bolly, who was shocking today. Shocking. Cody turns like a ship, and he's not good enough. He's not good enough. Get him off. Get him off. He won't do this, by the way. What I'm saying is what he should do. There's no way he should. So you play.
There's no way he's dropping Cody.
No, and he's no way he's playing Kilman. If Kilman didn't get on the pitch today, he's not getting on the pitch against Albion away. But what I would do, I'd play a back 4. I'd play.
He's got to start Morgan Gibbs-White in the middle.
You know what? I agree. I agree. and like, this is how bad it's getting, people. I agree. Morgan Gibbs-White should start. I would play Jose and Silva up front. Why not? Why the hell not? And
I'd drop Podence, 100%.
I'd drop Traore. I'd drop Podence. No, I'm looking at get after Sowie in. Get Vitinha in.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Why not?
Get some of the young ones in, yeah. Why?
Yeah, why the hell?
They're obviously going to be they're hungrier than what we saw today. I mean, what we saw today just wasn't a slight lack of effort. It was nil. They don't deserve to play next week.
It was a disaster. It was an absolute disaster of a performance.
And if you can't, I tell you what, mate, if you can't get yourself fired up for the Albion game next week, as a player, the fans are not going to forgive people like, even if it is Podence and people like that. If they're strolling about putting a performance in like that, then they're going to lose a lot of fans very quickly.
It's a huge game for a number of reasons. I think the future. I'm not just saying this to make it a big deal or anything, but the Albion game will push us to where we're going to go in the future. Like, are we going to stick with Nuno? Who are we going to keep? Who are we going to sell on? Who do we need to buy? I think it's got all the makings of like a real game changer. that game against Albion, and Albion, like, as they're probably down now, so they're going to play with a bit more freedom. They're going to it's their FA Cup final basically, and
I would love to do one over on us.
Of course he would. Of course he would.
They're going to be well. My fear is they're all going to be well up for it. Absolutely buzzing, like you said, that it's their cup final before they go.
Yeah,
get one over on us before they leave.
Absolutely.
And if we turn up and just we're cagey and nervous and we don't really care and we go one down and it's heads drop, we are finished. Like,
that's why I say go to a back four, because like if we are cagey. And like that'll suit Albion down to the ground. I think I really do think that if we're all cagey, but that's the way we're going to play, mate. That we don't know.
It's change.
We don't know another way. We don't know another way of playing. That's the issue, and that's why.
Unless he makes 9 changes,
which he won't do. He didn't bring on a substitute until the 60th minute when we were 3-0 down. He's not going to make 8 changes to a derby. Like, I just think something needs to be done. We are in, I'm sick of using this bloody word, but I will, a transitional season, but we will either transition to a worse team next season or a better one. And it all boils down to personnel and the manager. Where are we gonna go? Where are we gonna go? We're gonna go up, or are we gonna be relegation fodder next season? Because everybody was waxing lyrical on how good Sheffield United were the first season they were in there, and they just dropped like a stone. So there is that could happen to us. So we really need to be careful here. Like transfer wise, I completely agree. People need to go. People need to come in, but the overall riding issue with me is the way we go about things, the way we play our game of football. Like the passion needs to be there, and it wasn't today, and it was soul destroying. It was really soul destroying.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, well, whatever happens, we'll be here along for the ride.
Certainly
and we started this channel back when we played the Albion.
Yeah,
so we're going to try and hopefully put right a few wrongs.
I really hope so, mate, because like that game is going to go. It's going to go one of two ways, and I can't really think of the bad bit. I can't think of them beating us, and I think Nuno will go if he won't after the Albion.
I don't know if we get beat 3-4-0, and depending on the backlash, it could potentially happen. You know, nothing
surprises me now.
Nothing surprises, you know. He might just score. Judging not by today, there might be more going on, and if we get turned over next week, who knows? But
God.
Let's hope that doesn't happen. Why can't we go and beat somebody 4-0?
I don't think we've got it in us, mate. We haven't got it in us. It's the first time Burnley had scored 4 goals away from home in probably about 15 years, I think. Something daft.
But I think the key word for next week is changes. Changes.
There's got to be some changes. Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree. Well, fingers crossed we can get the win, or at least have something positive to say. You know, leave us a comment and let us know what team you would go for in the Albion derby, because I don't know whether it's just us that thinks there needs to be wholesale changes. But it would be nice to get your opinion on who you think should be dropped, who you think should be bought in. And I just think, man, it's going to be a big old week. It's going to be a big, big week for this football club in one way or the other. And we'll be there. So, nice one. Always lovely to speak to you, mate. And
you, bud.
Yeah, you've been watching Wandering Wolf.